So in this process as well, as we move forward, as we kind of begin to bring it in for a landing, we want to navigate failure. And as I said before, fear and failure are part of this process. So we want to recognize that failure is actually in the service for us. Every failure looks like a no. Most of us are brought up, to like avoid failure. Like, what are you talking about? Why would that be in service? It may feel like a no when we have a failure or we're rejected and we didn't get that job, or something happens along this path of your job search, when it actually is not this way. There's another way. When we can reframe our failure and know that, okay, this is information, and we recognize it as feedback and recalibrate it, we can stay at that higher place of thinking and go, what can I learn within this? John Maxwell, I've done some studying with him in leadership over time, and he says, fail forward. I think he has the whole book on that, failing forward. And there's a description actually by another, person in this whole arena, talking about there's 3 types of failure: lazy failure, dumb failure, and positive failure. The lazy failure is you had a setback and you didn't pick anything up. You just let it go. You didn't try again. Positive failure is the fastest education, and it's when you learn something, you kind of look within, what is it that I'm learning here? And then let's try a new way. John Maxwell talks about the man walking down the street and there's a hole in the sidewalk and he falls in. And he gets up and walks again. The next day comes sidewalk again. He falls down again, gets up and gets out. Third day he falls in, but this time he looks around and goes, let me pick something up here. Picks it up and walks up. The next day he walks around the hole. Meaning, look with what everything that's happening is in the service of you when you keep your mindset in the right place. And with that, when we keep at that higher level of thinking, this is where momentum is really happening. We're staying in the flow. We're not having that kink in the hose, like, fear, failure, that's also creating that kink. You get to choose to reframe things. You have that ability, but it's just understanding and being aware that you have that, and experiment with it and play with it. This is all about trying it on. So the gift of having a problem to solve, to move forward, actually helps you, become a better problem solver. It's going to help you keep going. And when another failure comes along, you're getting good at this. You're getting good at pivoting and figuring out what I'm going to get from this. So this last piece here, it says, this is a phrase that a father asked his kids every time they came home from school for the day or came home from their day. How many times did you fail today? Did anyone on this call ask your kids, if you have kids, how many times you failed today? That would not have been something that would come across for me. But actually, it's a great one, because we want to recognize that failure and stepping out there and trying new things helps you move forward and helps you try and kind of see what you're made of. So you might challenge yourself. I had a client one time, she said, Tamara, I don't feel like I've had many failures. Is that a bad thing? And we just talked about, that means you're maybe playing small, right? That you're not taking the risks and, stepping into this new arena. And maybe you haven't been in a job search for a long time. This is all new, right? All that it brings up, know that you're in momentum. It's kind of, I popped this piece in here because what we're talking about in being the CEO and moving through the job search, in keeping the momentum going, is that you're building a resilient mindset with this process and knowing that you have power, the power to neutralize a failure, neutralize your fear by putting that pause button on and repatterning, that you have the ability to not get triggered and be in the lower mind or the lower, you can respond instead of react. So you can respond to whatever might be blocking your path. And so you're building muscle and grit, which is going to only serve you in any area of your life.